Welcome to another episode of that Worship Guitar Show, brought to you by worshipguitarskills.com with me, Charles Katsia, and the WGS team. You'll discover how to go from a frustrated to fluent worship guitarist without having to practice for hours on end or even spend thousands of dollars on new gear. We'll help you unleash your true potential so you can make the most of the gifts and talents you've been entrusted with, and finally grow into the amazing worship guitar player you've been destined to become. Welcome, and let's get started. Welcome, guys. Hope you are having a wonderful Thursday. Let me know if you can hear my voice and my guitar, and then we'll trigger a track in a moment and see if that's also coming through loud and clear. I got some fun stuff to work through today, a little bit of jamming and showing you guys some fun things that you can do with triads to really spice up your playing. So I'm going to get myself set up here real quick, and then let me know where in the world you are watching from and whether the sound is all good on your end. Here's the guitar one more time. We are heading into summer here, so I'm quite excited about that. We know our folks in the North America are heading into fall and winter, so one thing's for sure, time marches on. So we are quite excited for some sunlight. It makes a big difference over here. And Kenan is saying loud and clear on his side, so he can hear that. And by the way, we are doing an hour earlier, and it's not because we have daylight savings, because we actually don't have that in South Africa. Simple logistical reason for today. I'm solo parenting for a couple of days while my wife is traveling. She'll be back over the weekend, so I've got to get back home for my kids. I wasn't able to get someone to help out today. So today, that's why we're an hour earlier. Nothing to do with daylight savings or anything. We'll be back to our normal time next time. So hopefully not too much of a disruption. And obviously the replays will be available in case you want to catch any of those after the fact. All right. So looks like we are good to go. Today we are going to be focusing in and around triads, and I believe we published a new video called Triad Transformations, which really shows you how you can take simple triads and obviously just embellish them slightly in order to get some interesting sounds. We all know the massive impact that triads can make in your playing when you learn to use them the right way, because it literally spells out the notes that you need to play, the chord tones that you need to hit in order for your notes to make sense and for your playing to make sense, because that is one of the biggest problems that guitar players run into. Is they might have a song and they learn a scale, and when they play that scale over a song, it ends up sounding like a scale because it's just randomly picked notes and there's no melodic content or any of that happening because they don't know what the chord tones are. So the triads, they are literally going to tell you what to play. So what I've got here is I've got a track. It's an extended track. It's a 1-4-6-5. And when I say extended, it's got 2 bars for each chord. And what I want to show you is I'm going to play a couple of things with triads over the song. And in this case, this is just a simple G or D major triad. I'm going to go to my second cam here so you guys can see that nice and clear. And let's see if we can get this mic out of the way a little bit. I think like that should do the trick. So I can play D like this. I can play G like that. I can play B minor like this. And I can play A like that. But when I play it just like that, it can tend to become a little bit boring because I'm playing, even though I'm playing chord tones, it is very obvious what I'm doing. So sometimes instead of a normal D, you might want something like this. So that's like a D add 4. And you might want to have a G sus 9 or a B minor 7 or an A sus 4. then that sounds a lot different than just playing the standard triad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger the track on my left here, on my right. The first time I'm going to play straight plain vanilla triads, and the second time I'm going to tweak them. And I'm going to show you how I tweak them, why it works. And then I'm also going to show you what you can do from a rhythmic perspective to make things sound more interesting, and also how you can add some lead lines to that. So let's go ahead and check it out right now. First of all, plain vanilla triads, and on the repeat, we are going to do the more interesting shapes.
Intro, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that just sounds just a little bit too predictable. Let's go ahead and play something more interesting. Listen to the color in that voicing. Another one here. Much better than that standard major one. And that right there, hopefully you can hear the big difference in terms of our voicings there. When we play the triads in their standard form, then they're a little bit too predictable. So that's why you can rather add some color to it. Then it just gives that voicing a little bit of vibe and a little bit of a different sound. So the concept, if you want to learn that, go and check out our YouTube video that we published. Where are we now? It's Thursday. So I believe it was this past Tuesday. Let me just double check. No, it was the week before. So not this Tuesday that we've just gone past. It was the Tuesday before. And then in that video, I basically go over how to do the triads switches. But basically, I'm going to give you a quick run through in case you haven't seen that. If you have a chord like this, we'll go back to our second cam so you can see. If you have a chord like this, you have 3 notes. 1, 1, 2, 3 notes. So that means your highest note can either go down or up. And then that basically means you can replace that note. So instead of playing D like this, I can play D like that. It's D add 9, or D major 7, or standard D. Or I can have this note can go down or up. If it went down, then I get this really moody D add 4 sounding voicing. If I go up, played over a D, it's going to be a D6. So this note can go down or up. The middle note can go down or up. And then the same way my lowest note can go down for a D sus2 or up for a D sus4. So that simple concept means that you can take this one voicing and turn it into 2, 4, 6 different voicings. Then I can do the same for my G chord. I can have G6, I can have this, I can have this, this, and that. Every time you can just go ahead and change the voicing. So I want you to go ahead and first of all be able to just play, what did I do here? 1, 4, 6, 5, D, G, B minor, A, D, G, B minor, and A, D, G, B minor, and then A. And then you can go ahead and embellish them. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to do a couple of things. I'm going to first of all just play that same track. I'll get us in a little bit of an extended version of that. And then I am going to, first of all, I'm going to mess around with the rhythms and everything that I'm doing. So I'm going to push up the track a little bit there. And what I'm going to do is I've got 4 variations that I'm going to play here. Once I'm going to do a very basic rhythm. The second time I'm going to play with a rhythm. The third time I'm going to add in some low notes. And the fourth time I'm going to add in a melody. And I know I'm going quite quick. We'll break this down in one of our upcoming lessons. But if you have any questions about this, feel free to ask me. But the concept here is, number one, I'm not playing standard triads. I altered my triads a little bit to give them a little bit of a flavor and a little bit more character and personality. Number one. Number two, I'm going to play around with my rhythm that I'm using. Number three, I'm going to add low notes to it. And number four, I'm going to add higher notes to it. So can you see the thinking there in terms of how we can take a very basic progression, and then we are going to take that and show you how you can go ahead and proceed on that. So let me go ahead and play that one more time. If you have any questions, let me know and we can answer that. So I'm going to play a different version of that track so that we have a bit more of an extended one. Let me just move something around here, and then we'll kick right off. And by the way, let me know where you guys are tuning in from, if you're watching live, and if you are watching the replay, go ahead and comment replay, then we know you guys are catching the replay as well. So let me just grab my tracks. I had them in front of me right now, and the joys of too many windows, lost them, but we'll get them back. 1, 4, 6, 5 and D major. Here we go. All right, so check this out. I'm going to have a couple of variations for us, and we'll break it down afterwards.
Intro, 2, 3, 4.
Very basic picking pattern. Now I'm going to change my rhythm ever so slightly. Listen. See the difference the rhythm change makes?
Turn.
I'm going to add some low notes to this. Check it out. Adding melody notes. So hopefully that kind of gives you a bit of a sense of what you can do with regards to just messing around with the rhythms and all those kind of things, which is what I'll go ahead and show you shortly. So we've got read this if live. That's a comment there. I'm not quite sure what that means. And then we've got Star Wars Rumors watching from Brisbane, Australia. Welcome, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in there. So let's quickly look at just the progression that happened there. Is number one, it's a 1, 4, 6, 5. D, G, B minor, A. But then I played triads, G, B minor, A. But instead of just playing standard triads, I made them more interesting. D add 4, G sus 9, B minor 7, A sus 4. So now already I've got more flavor in my voicings. Then the first time what I did is I played a simple rhythm, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E I start playing on the 1, 1E and a 2E and a 3, 4, 1, 2, and I let my notes ring. Space is very important. 1E and a 2E and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1E and a 2E and 3, 4. So I started playing on the 1. The second time around, I did not play on the 1, so I counted like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. So my 1 is open. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. So can you see, by leaving that space and not playing on the 1, it's adding some vibe there. So yeah, let's go ahead and break that down. So Manuel is saying, Charlotte's the GOAT. Thanks, Manuel. Great to see you. Manuel's one of our Academy members. And just checking if we're really live. Yep, we're really live right now, 5 October. It's 19 past 3 in the afternoon in South Africa. And saying I've learned a lot from you. Keep inspiring musicians to use their talents for the Lord. Thank you. I'm really great to hear that. And yeah, you're so right. And we can use our talents to glorify the Lord, which is amazing. He's given us this gift, and we can go ahead and develop our gift into a refined skill in order to worship Him and lead others in worship. And if you think about this, so let's imagine for a second a pastor that is preaching a sermon. And if they're talking in a very monotone voice the whole time, and there's no excitement in their voice, there's no excitement about the gospel, about what it means, about unpacking the word. And I do understand you get teachers, you get preachers, you get evangelists, and you get different types of flavors of how people can communicate the word. I'm not saying people need to go over the top and, put on a show to share the word. I'm just saying, for us as people, if we share the word with somebody, what Jesus has done in our lives, there's going to be an emotion in there. There's going to be an authenticity in there in order for those words to really mean something. Right, so what does that mean? When we play guitar, we want to do the same thing. We want our notes not just to be the average notes. We want our notes to carry that emotion that can communicate and that can speak to the human experience, because that's what we experience as humans, emotions. So when we play things that are expected, then it sometimes doesn't always have the same effect. And that's why instead of playing the open chords, I'm playing triads. And instead of playing plain vanilla triads, I'm tweaking them a little bit. And then instead of playing the basic rhythms that you might expect, I'm playing around with that a little bit, just to kind of give some rhythmic and melodic interest. So Randy is saying, could I at some point discuss song creation and structure from a guitar standpoint? We can definitely do that, and I'll go ahead and jam along to Holy Forever, which a Bethel song we'll jam along to. And then, but for songs and structures, is you want, like if you watch a movie, we've got Star Wars Rumors watching it from Brisbane, so I love the Star Wars movies, right? The story is interesting in and of itself, but the way that it's being told, there was good Star Wars movies and there was bad versions, right? According to the fans. So episodes 4, 5, and 6 had much greater impact than 1, 2, and 3, even though 1, 2, and 3 had a much different budgets and technology. But in any case, my point is, for songs, when we are playing guitar, we want to kind of give it a good treatment to play some interesting things that fit with that. And what I've given you now by tweaking the triads, playing around with the rhythms, adding some low notes, adding some high notes, those are some ways in which you can have some interesting spices to add. And the thing is to add to that rather than to detract, in terms of like getting people to notice the guitar or like fancy solos or whatever. It's not about that. It's just about how can we make it better through intentional and deliberate choices with what we play. So hopefully that makes sense. That's my soapbox for the day. Sam tuning in from California, and Manuel is tuning in from South Pasadena. So we've got two folks. Wow, it's early for you guys there on the West Coast. So Thank you for joining us over here. So, real quick, let me just show you where these things came from. Like I said, I already showed you the rhythms. Instead of playing, I'll do this for you one more time, just so you can hear the first time I'm going to play rhythm, starting on beat 1. That's where most people will start. The second time around, I'm going to leave beat 1 open. All right? And then, listen to the difference. Let's check it out.
Intro, 2, 3, 4.
Playing on beat 1, right out of the gate. Beat 1, 1 E and a 2 E and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now I'm not going to play on beat 1. 1. That's space. There's beat 1. So that little bit of waiting and then playing makes a difference, right?
Outro, 2, 3, 4.
So that's one way in which you can play around with your rhythms. There's something else that you can do as well by going, really turning your rhythmic approach up to 11, so to speak. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how I'm doing that. This is a more advanced thing, but there is some fun that you can have with this. But let's check this out.
Intro, 2, 3, 4.
Just very basic, open. Now I'm going to really ramp up my rhythm. Let's see what this can do.
Turn.
So can you see, obviously that is a part that's quite busy and you wouldn't, whip that one out all the time. But sometimes if you're playing a song, like Randy is saying, when you're looking at song creation and structures from a guitar point of view and you want to just, push it up a level, then you can take those simple triads, and I've given you 3 rhythmic approaches. One, playing it on the beat with a simple pattern. I mean, you can even just, let me just change my sound here real quick. I can play the things with just a strum, like this. A simple strum, right? That was the first one. The second one was playing on beat 1. The third one was where I don't play on beat 1, and then my fourth one was where I had that very busier syncopated rhythm. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. In just showing you all of this stuff is based on those triads, and then you can go ahead and experiment with those. So we've got Ovi tuning in from Spain, and we've got Yeezy tuning in from South Florida. Welcome. And we've got Blaston asking, how do you know how to play the right notes to harmonize using embellished triads? Okay, great question. So when we are playing in a song, we're going to be in a certain key, and most worship songs will use all the chords from the same key. So what you want to do there is you want to play your triad like this, your 4 triads like that. And then it's in the key of D, this particular track. And what you're going to do is then you're going to choose a note from before or above. So any note, if you have D, I'm going to look at what's the note before this note, but still in the D major scale. 2 frets down. it's a note above this one, but still in the major scale, only one fret up. So that is how that works. You'll see where the notes come from within the scale, which tells you to either play below or above that note. So hopefully that makes sense. We've got Calvin tuning in from Malaysia, and yeah, that's awesome. And Manuel says it makes dollars. So hopefully you guys can use that. It's really cool to be able to do that in your playing. And what I thought I'd do now is let me jam to a song called Holy Forever. This one is in the key of F. And what I'm going to do is I'll use some of these concepts that I've shown you now. But for the most part, I'm going to use 4/2 voicings. Yeah, Manuel's saying it makes sense. So I love that. What would the life be without a good dad joke? So I use these things with my kids all the time. So happy to hear that it makes sense, and that's awesome. So let me jam to the song real quick, and then afterwards, if you guys want to ask me anything what I'm doing, feel free to ask me. And then this is a song that we played a few Sundays ago. It's in the key of F, and I'll show you now. I think it was Randy that was asking from a guitar point of view what I'll do, and basically I just listen to the song, I try and feel the emotion of where it's going, and then that helps me choose, do I want a really moody chord? Do I want to kind of build things up the neck, what I want to do? That all depends on the flavor that you want to be going for. So what I'm going to do now real quick is I'll fire up that track. And then if you guys have any questions, let me know. And let me just go back to the second cam so you guys can see me over there. So I'm just going to jam along to the actual track, right? And then just add some parts to it. Because that's what most of us do on Sundays. We don't have the same amount of guitar players or the same amount of people to replicate all the parts. So we're just going to do what we can. With single guitars, which is what most churches tend to have. So let's go ahead and give this one a shot. right, so warts and all, couple of mistakes in there, having a jam over the song, and then happy to answer any questions around that. Sorry, we had a bit of clipping there. I think the track was a little bit too loud, so I turned it down as we were playing. Hopefully that didn't clip too much on your end there. So yeah, that's basically an approach for this one. It was mostly using what I call 4/2 voicing. So those 2-note voicings, we've got many videos on the channel about that. So you guys are welcome to check any of those out. So we've got R. Lawrence asking, what digital effect processing unit are you using? Sounds wonderful. Thank you very much. I've got a Kemper profiler here. If I move this music stand, you should be able to see parts of it over there. And then we also use a Line 6 Helix. I'll be using the Helix more going forward because then I can share patches with you guys if you are using that. So that's my tool of choice. And you know what there's so many things out there, you know, even Fender is bringing out their version now. There's so much gear out there. And what I love about the Kemper is, I mean, this thing is, I don't know how many years old now. It's many years old when it was released. And they haven't actually made many updates in terms of the hardware. Yes, they've reached the Kemper stage, but they've obviously improved the software a lot. So for me, I can just get that. I can get a good amp sound. I can dial in good effects. And it's the same with the Helix. Like if I never have to use anything else again, I'd be totally fine. And that was something I never would have said in a million years when I was just, you know, before these units existed. Yes, if you have 2 real valve amps with nice pedals and everything, it's going to sound better. It's going to, but they're marginally better. And in the mix, no one else is going to know. And for me, the ease of use is to quickly say, I want more delay, I want less reverb, I want that type of delay, that type of reverb, that type of amp, you know, whatever. So that's what I love. That's what I use. And so yeah, that's basically the goal there. And then Blaston is asking, was it all on the spot improvisation? If yes, thanks for that. It was mostly on the spot stuff, yes, but using very simple concepts. And I'm happy to break some of that down. So if we're looking at, say, the verse. No, let's look at that intro. It's B flat, C, F over A, D minor. So I basically just go ahead and use these 4/2 voicings a lot of the times, and then I try and stay in one area when I do those things. And then, but the notes I played was mostly chord tones, very basic notes. But then rhythmically is the thing that kind of makes some of the notes come alive. So when you learn how to experiment with those rhythms and those kind of things, then that's quite fun. We're doing a new video that we're launching on next Tuesday that will show you if you were only able to use single notes. And maybe I'll do one more jam with this where I can only use single notes. For the most part, it was improvised, except for this part. I just love that part. I think it fits the part of the song so well. So that was the actual part. And then when you hear things like, then obviously you can borrow those melodies as well. So that was basically just an F triad. And remember what we said before, you can go one note higher, which is what they did there. Kind of get that sound going. So most of the techniques and things that we show on the channel is the things that I used over there. And I realized we haven't been spending that much on time on rhythm. We've published a video on rhythm this Tuesday, so we'll do some more work on rhythm over there. So yeah, we answered that one. Thank you for that. That's the Kemper profiler. And Blaston is saying it's beautiful. I'm just out here trying to make guitar parts too, but it sounds like I'm soloing, doing guitar improvisation, but yours sounds like clear parts, and it just sounds so gorgeous, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. And I think one of the I've got a weakness which I'll share with you guys, And I think that weakness, I was able to turn it around, and let's rather say God was able to use that weakness for good. And the fact is, I can't sing. I can't sing to save my life, even though I play guitar and I've played for many years. But yeah, I can't sing. But I have a desire to sing, because the Bible says, "Sing unto the Lord a new song," but I can't sing. So I've had to sing on the guitar. And not so much in terms of singing, in terms of like making it scream and really going all out. There's nothing wrong with that. Love that kind of like blues vocal kind of soloing on the guitar. Really awesome. But that's what I try and get to come through my guitar playing, is something that's singing there. Because if you think about it, if we are playing, if I'm going to play stuff like that on a Sunday, all that kind of stuff, it's going to be too much, right? And it's going to take the focus off, and someone's going to look at like what's going on there. That's a lot of guitar playing, or whatever the case will be. But if someone is singing and there's space and there's a good sense of melody and rhythm, then people don't mind that, because that actually then draws the same worship out of them. So that's what I've tried to do, is to kind of sing on my guitar. And it was obviously a process, and the thing that really helped me a lot with that is knowing my chord tones. So that if I look at this thing and it says there, for the or let's just say the chorus, B flat, D minor, C, F over A, D minor, then I want to be able to just know the chord tone. So if it's B flat, I want to try and just kind of pull out some melodies out of those chord tones over there. So thanks for that. And if you learn your chord tones, number one, and you try and get a rhythm and a phrasing behind it, that's going to make a big difference, because it's really about the chord tones are what I play. I'll have one more jam, and then let's just say I can only use single notes for the song. But the chord tones are going to be what I'm saying, but how I'm saying it is my phrasing and my articulation. So it's a combination of what you're saying and how you are saying. So I'll jam this one more time for us. I've pulled the volume down a bit, so it should hopefully not clip like that, like it did. And now I'm going to try and just be kind of vocal on the guitar without making it like a big deal about that. And let's just see if my tones, I think everything is fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and jam. And let's just imagine I could only play single notes. That's what a singer does. They can only sing one note at a time, unless they're in a chorus, in a choir, or when there's multiple backing vocals and they sing together, 4-part harmony or whatever. But now I'm going to imagine I can only play single notes. So I'm going to play chord tones. It's what I'm going to play, and then I'm going to use articulation and phrasing, which is things like hammer-ons, vibrato, pull-offs, slides, all these kind of things to bring some lyrical quality to the playing. So let's check that out. I'll go to the second cam, and then you guys can see. And I'm looking to the side here because I've just got a chord chart here. Ricky is tuning in from France. Welcome, Ricky. And we know the Rugby World Cup is happening there, so I'm sure France has got alive a little bit with a buzz in the air, so enjoy that. Chord tones only. All right, so I thought I'd cut it short there, but just to show you guys, when you have a single note approach with some rhythmic patterns, even just a bouncing part like this, like Blaston is saying that something about the key of F that sounds really good. Yeah, there definitely is things like that, and even time signatures, like a lot of great, like really anthemic songs. It's in the 6/8 time signature as well. So interesting how that works. So, but even just this. For me, when I play, and whether this makes a difference or not, I'm not sure, but you know that there's that saying that says, go out today and preach the gospel, and if you must, use a few words. And it basically talks to the concept that our lives and the way that we conduct ourselves, that in and of itself should be a sermon rather than us actually using words to preach. Because there's another saying that says, who you are speaks so loudly in my ears I can't hear what you say. So I try and use that kind of thinking. So for example, when I play, and if you read Psalms, it's just filled with emotions, jubilant emotions, lamentations, happiness, sadness, and the whole range of emotions with David as a psalmist. And I think God likes that because that's the way we've been made. And when we can finally acknowledge our emotions, like, wow, I'm really feeling down today, or I'm really scared, or this or that, or I'm super happy and I'm like really jubilant and praise you, Lord. Then if we look at the Psalms, David expressed that, and God says David is a man after my own heart. So I'm trying to think on the guitar, what emotions can I convey? So now I don't know if this makes a difference. This is just me. This is my opinion. This is not doctrine. But if I play a line like this in a song like that, it's holy forever. So in my mind, I'm picturing what is that constant consistency of God, His goodness. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. The song is all about holy forever. So that repetitive riff on F there is, it in a way, it conveys that sense. You know, God is there today, yesterday, today, forever. When it goes to other stuff, I try and see, you know, like if we do these kind of things, you know, it's a little bit like a... that kind of sounds like a blanket, right? It's this blanket that you might feel like when I hug my boys, my kids, they are now 4, the youngest is 4 and the eldest is turning 9. And I just want them to, like when I give them a hug and an embrace, I want them to know that, wow, I love you guys, you're awesome, you are loved, you are special, all that kind of thing. So I'm trying to see how can I communicate any of these things on my guitar, which then hopefully the congregation can sense. They might not be able to articulate, wow, that riff, because that ostinato pattern, it really speaks to me that God is the same today, yesterday, today, and forever. But it's going to convey an emotion, and it's going to be an authenticity, and that is the thing that will speak to people. So and here's another saying, people don't remember what you said, but they're going to remember how you made them feel. So that's like a leadership principle, right? But in music, it's the same thing. They might not remember the song, the notes you played, your tone or whatever, but they're going to remember how that made them feel. So Blaston's saying, I totally agree with that. Emotion is key. So that's really the thing that we want to try and convey on the guitar is emotion, and how can we communicate that? And sometimes when you play something on the guitar, I feel like it can really pierce through into somebody's, what do you call it? They might be there in church, they might have had a rough week or whatever, and they've got some guards up and whatnot. But if there's a certain sound that can pierce through that and really open up that person's heart to a degree to receive something, then I think that's a role that music really plays. And that's why I think if you look at King David, he was a psalmist. He played the harp, and when he played the harp with King Saul while he was being tormented, the evil spirit would leave. So music has the power to bring that. And the exciting thing is, it's not about us, because it's God's presence through that makes all the difference. So all we have to do is be obedient. We have to show up, and we have to try and find a way to just tune into that frequency and then see if we can find a way to communicate that on the guitar. Whether it's with simple chords, whether it's with fancy guitar playing, whatever the case will be, God will be able to use that. And I think it's important for us to be willing and able. Of course, we do what we can to improve our skills and to become better guitar players and to tweak our tones and all that kind of stuff. But like the joke says, two guys are stuck in the ocean on a boat, and the boat starts sinking, and the one guy says, well, what should we do? Should we pray or should we row? And then the other guy said, well, why don't we do both? And I think that's kind of a thing that we want to do in our guitar playing. We'll do both. We'll improve our skills. We'll improve our playing. We'll learn music as best as we can with the time that we have. And at the same time, we want to trust God that He will come and breathe upon that so that it can bless other people. It can lead them into powerful moments and encounters of worship, and that God's kingdom can come in a lost and dying world that is in dire need of that true love, of that true unconditional love. So that's all based upon emotion. So thank you for coming to my sermon today. Hopefully you guys pick something out that you guys can do. And Sparky's just joining us. Yes, Sparky, sorry, I have to unfortunately run. I've got a kid's commitment today. I'm solo parenting for a few days while my wife's away, so apologies for that. We're a little bit early, but the replay will be available on the site as soon as we are signing out here today. So much love to you guys. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for watching the videos, for showing up to the lives, for watching the replays, our members that are showing up. It's really awesome to have you guys join us. And if there's any way, shape, or form that we can help you guys, just let us know. And if you go to, let's see, thatworshipguitarshow.com, you'll be able to sign up there and get access to all of the replays, and you'll get notifications for when we are going to go live, along with a couple of other cool things. So feel free to sign up there. So with that said, I'm going to have to sign out and bolt home to get there in time. So have a great rest of your day, and then I look forward to seeing you guys soon. If we can help you in any way, shape, or form, let us know. Much love to you, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.